Good evening and welcome to Aero Time at the Watertown Civic Arena. We've got a special broadcast here for you tonight. We're joined by Scott Walker, the head debate coach for the Watertown High School. So good evening.
Good evening.
We've got a big event coming up here in Watertown, Scott, and it's the state tournament, right?
Absolutely, state debate tournament, individual events, and debate will both be here.
And that is not this coming Friday, but a week from this Friday on March 1st, and then Saturday the 2nd.
Correct. Yep. So it won't be this weekend; it'll be the following weekend.
So when was the last time was the state debate tournament in Watertown?
So it'll be a little bit different this year. It was in 2018, so now we're in the post-COVID era, and so we'll have an opportunity to run it in kind of a new system, and we're excited to have it. It's usually about every 7 years. It depends a little bit on which schools can host it and how that kind of plays out. But
so last weekend you had your qualifier, right?
Correct.
Regional qualifier, is that what that's called?
It's a district qualifier where we have the Northern South Dakota district and then the Rushmore district, and so it's really separated oddly by the I-90, believe it or not, because of the Sioux Falls schools. Of
Really?
course.
Okay.
There's a lot south.
So do you have to qualify then, just like sports, to make it to the state debate?
Not to the state debate tournament, no.
Okay.
As a school, you can bring up to 2 competitors in each event. So we have public forum debate, which is a partner debate, which we'll talk more about when we get going here a little bit, but partner debate, and then there's Lincoln Douglas debate, which is 1v1.
Okay.
And then we also have informative speaking. We have persuasive speaking, called original oratory. And then we also have extemporaneous speaking, both domestic, which is issues within the United States primarily, and then we have international extemp as well, which is all foreign issues.
So let's first talk about extemp, and
Sure.
let's go walk backwards.
Yep.
So who is competing for us in extemp?
So we have our students in extemp. We will have Abby Peterson will be in international extemp, and Aiden Calvert and Hayden Zabrowski will be doing domestic extemp this year for us. And
Aiden Calvert is been on Aero TV. He's helped us behind the scenes, so that's definitely a name that I know.
You bet.
So now, what are they going to be? How does that work?
Yeah, extemp is kind of it seems like a scary event in the beginning, because they get 3 questions. They draw these at random off of a list of usually somewhere between 50 and 60 questions. They get 3 topics. They have to pick one of the 3, and they get 30 total minutes to prepare it. So they have to. They should have some resources available to them, and with the computer, obviously, it's much easier now. But they prepare it and then also get it ready to speak, and then with 30 minutes, then they give it. They have a 5 to 7 minute speech that they give.
Wow.
Without notes.
So they have to prepare that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Wow. Awesome. All right. So next one then is going to be what? Original oratory?
Correct.
And who do we have competing for Watertown?
We do not have anybody in original oratory for this contest.
Okay, so what is original oratory?
So it's a 10-minute, up to 10-minute memorized speech, and it's a persuasive speech where you show a current problem. Like, we have a young lady who unfortunately can't be there because of another thing that she has to go to, but hers is on fear and how we overcome fear and how we do that. So it's kind of an interesting. She actually competed for us this last weekend, but is unable to at state.
And then we have informative. Is that right?
That's correct.
And what does that entail, and who do we have competing for us?
We also don't have anyone in informative this year. In the past, we've had some informers. Actually, my daughter has done informative for us in the past.
Okay.
And it literally is what it sounds like. You're informing people about a topic. The 2 topics that she had done prior, she did her one on Sesame Street, and talked about Sesame Street and the impact that it had, from the 70s when it started, and how it had changed over the years and what it has done. And the last one she did was on Barbie. She was a little ahead of the Barbie craze, but she definitely, and again, talked about how Barbie had progressed over the years. And it's not really persuading anyone anything. It's just more showing what something has done or
Did
what
she,
it's about.
did she have to pick those topics, or was
Yeah.
that something she drew
No,
out?
she
or?
gets to do that. And again, it's a
Okay.
10-minute, and they have visual aids. So I still have a giant poster of Elmo. I still have a giant Barbie poster, stuff like that. But yeah.
On your living room wall?
They are not in the living
No.
room. They're in the debate room. But,
Well, you can
yeah.
give maybe your dad will put it in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
super fan Jerry,
You
right?
bet, for sure.
So then Lincoln Douglas, is that? I guess I've always thought of Lincoln Douglas one-on-one being your top level of debater, or is that not?
They're pretty on an equal level.
Okay.
Actually, we used to have policy debate here, but policy debate is no longer offered in the state.
Okay.
That's what, when I competed, it was in policy debate. We haven't had policy debate in the state since 2020, I think, was the last year. The second to last year, the 2 years prior, we had one policy actually, but then just students weren't competing in it across the state, and so we went away from it. And then it went to Lincoln Douglas debate, which has been around a long time, but that is 1v1, and it generally is more philosophical issues about what we ought to do. It's actually about Asia and West Africa now, and whether or not we should have military presence in Asia and West Africa, whether or not we ought to.
And do they do the Lincoln Douglas in the D.D. Miller? Is that where they do that?
No, it's all in separate rooms. So they'll be, I don't want to make too big of a guess, but they'll probably be about 30 AA, another 20 A debate, and so all those rounds will be going on the whole time. So
who do we have competing for us?
So Landon Whittle, who's a senior, will be competing for us, and Aiden Kelbert will be doing LD for us.
Oh, so you can compete in different areas.
Yeah, they don't compete at the same time, and so they can do both debate and individual events, which is nice. And technically, you can actually do 2 individual events and a debate event. It's pretty tough on kids to do all 3 at the tournament at that level, but it can be done, and it has been done. But
and the last one is the public forum, right? And that's what I'm most familiar with and have judged here at Watertown.
Yep, which is amazing, right? I mean, and the nice part is the event, and I'll give credit where credit is due there too. Donis Roberts, who was the longtime head coach at Watertown, was instrumental in getting public forum debate going, and it really was meant to be for someone in the community to be able to judge it. In order for it to be, sometimes we call them lay judges, but someone who could just come in who was interested in listening to the arguments and determining a winner. And so it's really pretty special to us as a community.
Yeah.
But it's interesting now, and our topic now is on single-use plastics, whether or not the United States federal government should ban single-use plastics. So it's definitely an accessible topic.
How is that how each year there's a different topic, right?
Correct.
How is that selected?
It's selected at the national level.
Okay.
And we actually have 3 topics a year that we do in public forum debate. We have 2 topics a year in LD and 3 in public forum. So we have a November-December topic, and that's primarily to help out our younger students, because then they can do it for 2 months.
Sure.
And we get a little more time to develop. But then in January, as they kind of are moving through, there's a topic in January, and then there's a topic in February as well.
Okay.
So, and technically there's a topic in March, and then we'll have another topic at nationals if they would make it to that level.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so it was meant to be an every month topic, but yeah, it's generally pretty up to date on what's going on too. I mean, it has a lot of current relevance, and that was kind of the point of it.
Right.
And there's actually one of the coaches in Sioux Falls is actually going to be on the national wording committee, which is kind of nice.
That is,
it's good for our
South
state,
Dakota.
It's good for our state, and he's a great guy.
So who are our students that are going to be competing in public forum, or is there a lot of them?
So you can only bring 2 teams, so it'll be 4 total for us. We have Abby Peterson and Olivia Strandell are competing in public forum, and they're a little more of our experienced team.
Yep.
And then we have actually 2 freshmen will be competing for us too, so Hayden Zabrowski and Lennon McIntosh. Okay. So we're really excited to have them competing and getting some good experience for us.
Well, Lennon is my neighbor, actually, so I do know some of these
these are all,
students
we
as
all
well.
know that we all know the kids.
Yeah, that is true.
It's good.
So you've got this coming up on March 1st and 2nd, Friday and Saturday at the Watertown High School. We're going to be taking over the academic wing, right?
Pretty much everything from the concourse back will will be in. So
how can the community help you?
Well, that's I'm very glad you asked that question. Actually, we are looking for community judges, and they have an opportunity to come in and actually be a part of what's going on. And I know there's always a little bit of fear of that, like, well, I don't know about debate, or I'm not sure how to do it. The nice part about public forum is it's meant to take that into account. And really, all we ask is that you have an open mind and are willing to come in and listen to what the kids have to say and do the best that you can.
Yeah. So if there were people that are watching, listening, want to volunteer, right?
Yes.
It's volunteer.
It's a volunteer. Yep.
Would they be volunteering at the public forum or at other areas?
It would only be in public forum. We don't. The other events, it would feel a little more like you need some specialized knowledge. But really, in public forum, you come in and listen to the arguments and you make a decision. And there's a couple of other nice things that are good about the state tournament. One of them is you're not alone. So it's not just one judge determining the fate of a group of students.
Yeah.
You're there with two other people. You're all doing the best that you can. And it works out well. And the kids know it too. It's not a surprise to them. They don't get there and go, oh, it's somebody from the community. They know that that's a part of the state tournament.
Okay.
And it's actually a lot of fun to watch. Like we were in Mitchell last year, and again they had a whole group of students come, or a whole group of judges come through that were helping too.
So now going back to that, if they want to volunteer, how do they get in contact with you?
So there's a couple of ways. I do believe that you have a QR code that we can put up on the screen eventually, I think, that can be used, and that's a really easy way to, you can just point your phone at it and click right onto a Google form and sign up. They're also happy to contact me, and I'm assuming that information will come up as well.
Yeah, okay.
Just at my school email address. It's a great way to do it. And we have two opportunities. One of them is on Friday night, and that is from 5:30 to 9:30. So it's a 4-hour session. And then we have another session that's just slightly shorter, but it's on Saturday morning from 7:45 to 11:15. And we tried to do that really to accommodate community judges as well. Like this is a long time event that community members have judged. It doesn't matter where the tournament is, if it's in Aberdeen or Brookings or,
sure.
wherever it is.
Sure. So we need some judges, need some help. We'll put the QR code on the screen here in a little bit. If you don't have an opportunity to, use your phone and get the QR code, contact Mr. Walker, Scott Walker at the Watertown High School. Email or give a call. He will get in contact with you. But this is a good thing for Watertown. It's a good thing for our community. You mentioned how many different schools are going to be here, but
I'm guessing we will have at least 25 schools here, varying sizes. From across the state, they'll be all the way from West River. They'll be up north, into the Aberdeen area, all the way down south. We're going to bring in a good group of people. They're all staying in hotels. They're all eating at restaurants. They're all doing all the things you'd expect. So,
how many students would you just guess are going to be here?
It'll be kind of tough to guess. I'm guessing overall we'll end up with 400-ish by the time we're done. And then a set of coaches, and a lot of times parents will follow them a little bit on this one too, and there'll be people around. So
that's what I was going to ask. I mean, I in my family, we believe in debate. All of my kids have had to do at least 1 year of debate.
Exactly.
And that's
I remember.
just, yes, you do. And and so we would go and watch. I mean, I know a lot of kids maybe don't want their parents there, but you can come and watch, right?
Absolutely, you can, and they'll tell you, no, we can't come judge, but there really is a point where it's good for them to have that support. And I always tell parents, if your student is absolutely adamant against it, you probably have to respect some of that. But for the most part, it's fun, especially at the end of the season. They're pretty comfortable, and they certainly can come and watch.
Good.
And it really is. it's not quite like coming to a basketball game, I'll tell you that. But it really is something that if you do want to come see, you can. Like, it's an opportunity, and we can get you kind of guided in the right direction and see it. But it's really pretty amazing to watch. If you want to see sort of what the future of what students can do, it's pretty impressive. I mean, I sometimes forget because I'm in the middle of it every day, but it really is pretty impressive what these kids are doing.
I agree. I am a big fan of debate. I think it's, I actually argue it's probably, in my opinion, the most important extracurricular you can do. Research is their critical thinking, being able to speak and talk in front of people. Is there opportunities after high school?
Oh, absolutely. And I always kind of say, it's hard to go pro in debate, right? But, all the lawyers that come out of my program might tell you differently. But we do tend to have a high number of lawyers that do come out of the program. I'll admit that. But there are actually college debate programs as well, and they are varying levels of intensity. If you go to the East and West Coast, they get a little more intense. But in the Midwest, there's plenty of opportunities too, as close as SDSU, Northern. I don't know that USD has much of a program anymore, but at one time they did as well. But there's programs in Iowa. There's programs, in Nebraska. I mean, you can go. You don't have to go far away to get there either. We had a student recently who was debating, out on the East Coast too. So it was pretty. It was good to see him go out and do that. So,
spread the wings a little bit going out there, right?
Yeah, and he was real successful in the process. So.
Yeah, awesome. So you've got, I think, March 11th, we have something else.
Absolutely, because we can't just have one event in town, right? So we got to bring another one in. We're very lucky to actually be able to host on March 11th. We're going to host the state/qualifier for our student congress as well, which is a little bit different event that we always hold at the end of the year. And we're actually getting to host it at LATC this year.
Perfect.
They're generously allowing us to use their building because, of course, it's a Monday and we have school, and it happens to be spring break at LATC, so we get to use the Ag building, and we're really excited, and everybody has been awesome about helping get that put together.
Great. So before we let you go, I want you to just shout out to your assistant coaches, and they do a lot for you. Well,
I couldn't do what I need to do. We just came off of a really big tournament too, where we needed all hands on deck. I have Kyle Downey is coaching Lincoln Douglas debate and a lot of the extemp as well. I have Danielle Harms, who is doing our oratory and inform, particularly at the beginning, and toward and a lot of the logistics that go with it. And then also at the state tournament, I'll also have the two interp coaches will be helping a lot as well. Kareen Calamine, our head interp coach, and Chelsea Brink, our assistant. They're both amazing. I mean, I couldn't do what has to be done in 2 weeks if I didn't. I mean, I individually just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So
you've got a great staff. There's no doubt about it, and a great program. And I know you do great stuff. And I saw it. You taught my kids. They were in there as well, and big supporters of debate. But your family are big supporters of all things involving high school students. And
I can see my parents right now at the game.
Yeah, we could probably wave to them. They're not looking, but
they wouldn't miss it.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Good luck,
My pleasure.
We will continue to plug. Asking for some help and some judges.
People shouldn't be afraid to give me a call or email me, and I'll get back to them right away.
Very good.
Awesome. Thank
All
you.
right. You betcha. Thank you. And we want to thank Scott Walker, head debate coach for the Watertown High School debate team. This is Aero Time. We'll be back.
And now it's